And good morning, ladies and gentlemen. You're waking up to the vibe.
Good morning, Vibers.
Good morning, Vibers. It's the Vibe Tribe.
Well, I call them my Vibers.
Good morning, Rebecca. How are you this morning?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing all right. Getting good grades.
That's good to hear.
Yesterday, I had a preview of the new Wake Up to the Vibe t-shirt. Bobby Badfinger sent me a sample of the artwork. It's killer. Looks.
You didn't send it to me.
No, because you can't see it until it's done.
Oh, lordy.
It's pretty awesome. The front is a graphic of Wake Up to the Vibe, which is a picture that he drew of the two of us. And on the back, it says the Vibe Tribe, which has a collage of people. It's pretty cool.
I love it.
Yeah.
He's so talented.
Yeah, he is talented. We were going back and forth all day. I can't wait to get the bill.
I was wondering why you weren't replying to me.
What's that? Nah, busy day yesterday. Hey, good morning, everybody. Good morning, David Pooh. Brother, what's up? Brothers in the house. Good morning, Sue and Greg. We got a great show today. Super excited.
Oh my gosh.
Special thank you to our folks from Essex County, the band Essex County from the UK, from London, England. It was great to have them on the show. That was fun. I
love them.
Yeah.
I'm listening all the time.
Yeah, I had a feeling they love you too. No, I really did. They took a liking to the show. Let's put it that way.
You and me, or just me? It was weird.
That's weird. She goes. We're crossing country borders. This is amazing. So we've had Dr. Katina on the show from Sudan in the Nuba Mountains. Mm-hmm. We've had folks from England. Today, we're touching base with Northern Ireland. And next week, we have a special guest from Switzerland. We'll be broadcasting live from Switzerland. Mm-hmm. And we were talking earlier on how amazing it is, how crystal clear. We have a better connection today in Ireland than we did in Nashville. It's crazy. Just crazy.
It is.
Wi-Fi. Love Wi-Fi. Anyway. So, yes, that is, and I just want to give a shout out tomorrow. Bill Trigg from Make-A-Wish Foundation. He's the CEO of the Northeast New York division. And we're going to talk about all the awesome things that Make-A-Wish Foundation, the things they provide and do. Super cool. And then in July, I think it's July 11th. Don't quote me on the date. I don't have it in my memory bank yet. But you and I will be emceeing a Make-A-Wish fundraiser.
July 11th.
Is it July 11th? Okay, thank you for setting me straight on that. Awesome. Good morning, Tina and Tim Seeley. It's good to have you in the house with us today. So let's who's that?
Cindy, Greg.
Yeah, Bev's in the house. Beautiful. Beautiful. So we're going to dive right into this interview here. Let's bring him in, and then, as I always say, we'll give him the introduction. Yeah, this is good stuff. Very good stuff today. Every day is good stuff. Because that's what we do here on Wake Up to the Vibe. Good morning, Sonia. Welcome to the show. So good to have you here. And let's see. Oh, here we go. Hey, good morning, Stephen. I'm going to give you a nice introduction here. Hold on a second here, buddy. And ladies and gentlemen, we are broadcasting live here, bringing our new friend from Northern Ireland. I like it. I like the color of that beverage right there, my friend.
It's a Guinness straight through, man. Guinness for breakfast.
Love it.
For the record, so you know that there is a time zone difference, so it's actually
Afternoon for me.
it's
Perfectly fine for me to be drinking a beer right now.
this guy has toured Ireland, the UK. He's taken his skills to Nashville, Tennessee. He's gone through the valleys of California. He's a host of a songwriter night in Ireland.
Yep.
For 5 years. I want to know all about that. And now he's back in Ireland, joining us here on Wake Up to the Vibe. I will say, Stephen Macartney, good afternoon.
How's it going? Good afternoon, guys. Thank you very much for having me on the show.
Cheers. I have water.
It's our
It's bad luck, almost a tears with water.
Well, I will tell you, I had a stout last weekend, and it was a coconut infused stout.
Yeah.
That's
a good choice.
Wow. It was to die for. And I literally said to the gentleman at the brewery, I was telling him, I said, I have a morning show. I could actually put this in my cup and have this in the morning.
Yeah. And like no one's gonna know anyway. Not until at least like 6 or 7 in, and then
well, they probably would know by the end of the show because I'd have to pour a second one. What kind of stout are you drinking? Are you drinking a stout or a porter?
It's stout. It's Guinness.
Guinness.
But like Guinness, man. That's
good for you. I like that. A man who brings his own beer. If you were closer, you would have brought us one, I'm sure.
Absolutely, of course. I would think several, at least 2.
So now let's start with the songwriter night, because that's at at a pub. Is that at a local pub in Ireland?
Yeah, local pub. It's in my hometown in Bangor, Northern Ireland. It's about 12 miles from Belfast, and the pub's called Fealties on the High Street, and it's this beautiful little old-fashioned. Kind of real old man's drinking den kind of style pub, like a really almost like traditional Irish pub. It's the kind of place that in America it would be a favorite. It would be like one of the coolest places to go because it would be so quintessentially Irish. But here it's just a local pub. And a lot of years ago I got the opportunity to start a Saturday night in there to try and invite local songwriters in to play their own stuff, rather than singing Wagon Wheel 4 times a night,
right?
Or
isn't that the truth, man?
I mean, yeah, right. So this happens all the time. So I think there's a lot of really great songwriters from here. Of course.
Well, Van Morrison, right?
Yeah.
Is it Van Morrison?
They get an opportunity to play their own stuff. They jump on it,
Yeah. Is it Van Morrison from Northern Ireland?
Van Morrison is literally from down the road from me. All of the musicians around Northern Ireland have Van Morrison stories that are usually the grumpiest stories in the world.
Yeah.
Sometimes does.
Yeah.
He's a genius and a wonderful, wonderful ambassador from Northern Irish music, but he's a grumpy man.
Oh, really?
I've watched a few. Well, the thing is, too, he doesn't tour a lot in the U.S. And I was watching a live performance where he only came out on stage. I don't know if it was a benefit or what, but he came on stage for one song. And he literally looked at the guitar player. It was time for a solo, and the guitar player kind of missed his cue. And Van Morrison gave him a look that was like, that guy will never miss his cue again.
Never.
And he literally got up from the chair. He sat on a chair. He played Into the Mystic, and he literally left and was like, yeah, see you later. I was like, wow, he's got a different demeanor.
Yeah.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
He's an amazing songwriter and a total genius with what he does.
Yeah.
But I've heard some hilarious stories from around here. I think a lot of the musicians from around here all have some pretty crazy Van Morrison stories.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. So
This is another show. We have to do another show about Van Morrison.
I would love to do a Van Morrison show. That would be so cool. So now you're hosting this. Is it an open mic, or is it just songwriters originals only?
It's originals only, and it's invite only as well. So open mics I've had my experiences with in the past, as I'm sure you both have as well, and they can sometimes be hit and miss. Sometimes they're great, sometimes they're not so good. And I kind of wanted to keep the standard really high. I wanted to have it so I was hand selecting artists that would have been kind of top of their game, and professionals as well. Like I didn't kind of want somebody coming in saying, "This is my first song. I want to play, in front of a crowd." I wanted to be people who were recording artists, who were songwriting for other people, who were already touring, already doing stuff. Just keeping it really professional. And it snowballed really fast after the first few months. Even it started getting, because I was keeping the standard high, and the people who were even coming to me at times were pro musicians, really, really high quality songwriters, and they were all wanting to do their own thing. And it's a free gig as well. I think that's what kind of really keeps it interesting for the audience too, is that like it's free and it's not ticketed, so that anyone who wants to come in on a Saturday night can just come in and listen to these guys. But every musician gets paid. Everyone gets paid to play. Oh, wow. Because you got to do that. I think a lot of musicians are really struggling financially, especially at the minute as well. But all around, they're kind of financially struggling. Even some great songwriters are having a difficult time with their own with trying to get gigs that are actually paying money. So everyone gets paid to play. The audience can enjoy a night for free, and everyone walks away at the end of the night having a great memory of the evening.
And they got to enjoy a nice Guinness.
Yeah, exactly. The finest Guinness in town as well. They got to enjoy that.
I've never been a Guinness fan for one reason.
Not one.
I've never been a one Guinness guy.
It's an acquired taste. It's an acquired taste, in fairness.
I like Guinness.
Guinness is good. Whenever you get the taste for Guinness, though, you don't turn back.
That's what I understand. Yeah. So now your songwriting, you've actually taken your songwriting from Ireland. You've come over to the United States. Obviously Nashville, and you were describing, is it called Fealties? Is that the
Fealties?
Fealties. Back bar session is the not the open mic, but the songwriter night that you host. You reminded me of the Bluebird Cafe in Nashville.
Yeah, it's a very similar vibe actually in some ways. The Bluebird's slightly different because for anyone who doesn't know, is you kind of sit in the middle of the room and there's like an audience around you. Similar idea though, and it's Bluebird. Well, when I played the Bluebird, it was kind of in the round almost where people were kind of able to join in with each other as well, and that happens a little bit back here as well. So it's a similar kind of vibe. We have a bit more of a kind of separation with the audience, perhaps, but right. But it's a similar idea. It's a simier kind of feel.
So what were you doing in Nashville? Did you go there to record an album? Were you just passing through, or did you actually move there?
No, I didn't move there. I got the opportunity with a few years ago, 2013, maybe 14 or something like that. It was the Pan Arts Belfast Nashville Festival, where Belfast and Nashville are twin cities. So they send a few artists over our direction, and we send a few artists over to you guys, and we get to do a few gigs around. So we played Belmont University, and got to hang out in some of the recording studios there, where like Paul Simon, recorded Bridge Over Troubled Water and everything. So
wow.
Like dream come true for me. And also then we got to play the Bluebird, which again, a total highlight, a real joy, and to sit amongst and talk to these kind of like Grammy Award winning songwriters was a real kind of real joy just to hear their experience. And also what was fun to me as well, to hear the fact that their experience that in songwriting that was similar to mine.
Right.
People who I kind of had idolized or had on these pedestals, and their experience about the last lot of years of the decades of songwriting was similar to mine, and we found a real common ground.
Right.
Really quickly, which was wonderful.
Yeah. One of the videos that I'm going to play was a live performance. Was that in Nashville?
Is it the Music City Roots one that I said?
It was All the Colors I Can Know.
Oh, All the Colors I Can Know. No, that is that's in my hometown actually. That's in Bangor.
Yay.
Oh, okay.
That's in a little place on Grace Hill called the Auction Room, which is there's a festival here, owns the building and or leases it, I guess. That was recorded a little while back by Joe Altieri. That was a lovely lovely afternoon.
Cool. You don't mind? I'm gonna play the song. Let me go and play the song, and then we've got a lot of things to talk about. But I'm anxious. I'll speak for everybody in the room, and
I am too.
and Rebecca, we're anxious, man. You got an awesome voice.
I already watched it like 5 times.
Yeah, I know you did. so hang tight here. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna switch gears. You're waking up to the vibe. Want to thank everybody for joining us this morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Stephen Macartney, now going as King Cedar, and this is a live performance. Take a listen to this. Absolutely beautiful.
As we went on in the fields to pray, silent before us our meadow lay, and I will remember the song sung that eve, when over the march winds will be. Go by the moonlight, rested on evergreen, over the valley down to the shore. Surely as night falls over Ontario, bide thee to winter no more. Long are the days of the harvest sun, golden and tall are the furrows run, and I will remember a song sung that eve, and over the March winds will be.
You're waking up to the vibe. Starting our day off with beautiful music here by Stephen Macartney. Excellent job, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah, you know,
Actually, that was Nashville. That was a Nashville performance. That one.
Oh, it was. Okay.
March Winds. Yeah, that was a festival called the Music City Roots Festival from the Loveless Cafe, just on the outskirts of Nashville.
oh, so that was in Nashville.
Yeah, that one over the March Winds was in Nashville. That was hosted by Jim Lauderdale,
Okay.
the man with the craziest suits I've ever seen. That was a really fun trip. That was a really fun trip.
How would you listen? I could hear Ireland in your music. I hear the influences, the style of playing. But how would you describe, in your own words, your songwriting? And if you had to say, what kind of music do you write?
I mean, it's a tricky question because there's quite a variety. But I guess like folk would be part of it. Country music too. Excuse me. A lot of the King Cedar stuff is kind of country inspired, and I listened to a lot of American music when I was growing up as well. Some of the great American songwriters, the Woody Guthrie's, Bob Dylan, Joni Mitchell, Jackson Browne,
Right.
A lot of those guys who recorded in like kind of like late 60s, early 70s. Simon and Garfunkel, I mean, huge influences to me whenever I was growing up.
You can hear it in your music.
And you can kind of hear that as well. So I think what's interesting about, I think Ireland and America have very similar musical heritages in some ways, and certainly the folk element of things. And I think that's why a lot of the time Irish kind of folk and country artists do really well in the States is because there is that kind of shared heritage, and it does have a lot of similarities woven throughout it. You know, I think a lot of my music has quite an Irish and an American kind of sound.
Yeah, yeah, very good description. Are you born and raised in Northern Ireland?
Yeah, born and raised in Northern Ireland in my hometown here in Bangor.
Wow.
Representing.
And the reason I ask you that is because I think it was like back in around 2017, right? The Northern Ireland government was going through, it collapsed pretty much, right?
It did, yeah, entirely, yeah.
Yeah. So, and then I believe it was this year that the government reformed, correct?
The government reformed. The politicians here, Northern Ireland has a very interesting political history.
It sure does.
Oh yeah.
Anyone who doesn't know about it, it's sad. It's had 40 years and countless decades more than that of some pretty crazy stuff. But yeah, it was 2017, I think it was the oven storm that collapsed, and 3.5 years later, they decided to try and work past some differences about. I think it was a language difference about road signs, that kind of thing, which seemed crazy to people not from here. But when you're from here, you kind of get an idea. Like there are people who actually really care about stuff like that. And it's
right.
A lot of us kind of just go back to work. You know what I mean? If we don't get 3.5 years off, guys, while we're being paid. If anyone else had done that, taken 3.5 years off, and then decided like we're still getting paid, it's fine, we would have got sacked. The rest of the country would have got sacked. Do your job is what we were all thinking.
Well, so the reason why I asked you that is because, you know, you mentioned Simon and Garfunkel, you mentioned Bob Dylan, your style is like that. Now, when a government collapses, it's guys like you that go to work and start writing songs, right? And so my next question to you was, do you have political songs in your arsenal of material?
Ooh.
Yeah, I do. Not lots. I tend to write more about kind of more personal things to me, things like depression and love and my experiences personally in life. But there are a few songs that I have that are quite overtly political. I got the opportunity once to sing in the City Hall in Belfast, and I said to the guy beforehand, to the organizer, the guy who booked me for the gig, and it was the day where Southern Ireland, the Republic of Ireland, had passed the marriage equality bill, and I was like, I'm going to say something, I'm going to make a speech. And he said, Stephen, please don't. I will lose my job. Please don't do this. And I was like, I have to, man. I'm only going to give it. I have this opportunity once in my life to speak to the entirety of the government of Northern Ireland,
right,
in City Hall. And I got booked to do a gig, so I got up and I made this impassioned speech for 2 or 3 minutes, and half the room thought it was great, half the room did not think it was great, but then I played this song called Parody, which is on a thing I think I sent you. It's out as well on Bandcamp and so on. And the song is about equality, and the song is about the fact that there are some people who aren't deemed as equal in society, and they absolutely need to be. I'm trying my best not to swear here right as well. It's something I feel very passionately about, and again, it's been the idea that the similar concept is being witnessed all around the world at the minute, especially in America. Especially in places that I have grown to know and love in America, like Nashville and LA. And it's amazing to see people out who are trying their level best to make sure that everyone is seen as equal in the eyes of the laws and in the eyes of police forces and in the eyes of the system.
Right.
Which is what we absolutely need and should have and already should have.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, where
it's staggering that it's 2020 and we're still debating this. It's
right. It's mind blowing.
Yeah.
Crazy.
You know, it's funny because I'm kind of taking the advantage of the fact that I have somebody from Northern Ireland on the show. So I'm kind of drifting off, and I wanted to get your take on where the government is. But where are you guys with the coronavirus and all of this mess? I mean, are you under quarantine at all?
Yeah. Quarantine happened here, I think, like 3 months ago. So similar to the United States in some ways. The coronavirus here has been handled terribly. We're Northern Ireland is still part of the UK, so we're under Boris Johnson and Westminster and so on as well.
Right.
It was handled really badly. And in a population of 60 million, we've had 40,000 deaths. And compare that to the United States, which has a population of over 300 million, and you've had over 100,000 deaths.
Right.
The numbers don't add up at all. The government here has made a dreadful job of organizing themselves. Like they've done too little, too late on so many occasions here.
Wow.
And it's really frustrating to watch. And like 40,000 people have now. I mean, numbers need to be given and taken, but I guess because there are definitely moments where some deaths have been attributed to COVID-19 that maybe would have happened anyway. I get that there's obviously some dispute,
Right.
but there's thousands of people dying that probably shouldn't have died because of this.
Right.
And I know some people who have in my hometown here, and I know a lot of people who have who have had COVID-19. And it's been a shambles. It's been an absolute. The mishandling has been criminal.
That's crazy, man. You've got enough material to write songs for the next 20 years, being from the neck of the woods that you're from, right? I mean,
man, yeah. Well, I'm in a good position though at the minute. I was kind of thinking last night about. I got this album that's coming out, and I was thinking about the next couple of albums. I've got one ready to release. I've got one after that already written. And then a half of an album written after that as well, which I wrote in LA when I was last there, over the last year or two. So I've got lots and lots and lots of songs. Some of them are very American, some of them are very Irish.
How do you write half an album and then I have another half an album over here? You only finish the California album the next time you're in California, or what?
Because it's a good question. It's a good question, Joseph. There are some songs that I want to keep for a certain collection, because I think if you just write songs and put them out, then it's not really an album. Then you're just throwing songs out, you know. And like I think albums should really tell a story. They should have
a theme.
They should have a feel and like some kind of like communal moment in them, and they should have a thread that runs through everything. And so I've got some songs that are definitely going to go on the next record, because it has the same kind of vibe and it has the same idea, and it's a lot of like kind of more folk songs, and it's going to have the same instrumentation and that kind of thing. And then the record after that will be much more full band. It'll have a lot more country in it, and so it's got to sit right. I think I'm never one to throw away just song after song. I don't think that's the correct way to do things.
Right.
You got to be more controlled over it.
Yeah, I know. Well, I want to play another song here, and this is the one where, and I hope I have the title right. Is it "Over the March Winds"?
Okay, "Over the March Winds" was the last one that was played.
I thought so, because I made my notes here, and I'm like, wait a minute, I just crossed out the wrong one here.
Let's go, man.
So this is where it's live, but you're walking up a set of stairs, and you go and you sit down in a chair and you play the song.
Yeah.
What song am I playing?
All the colors I can know.
Say it again.
All the colors I can know.
Oh,
I played the wrong song. And I like to tell you that was that was the first time.
Oh man, I've done that before. I've done that before at my own gigs. I played the wrong song. Like just introduced the song and be like,
wrong one.
"Over the March Winds," and then gone into some totally different. It happens. That's fine.
You ever go to the gig and actually welcome people to the wrong place?
Oh yeah.
You're mentioning the bar down the street.
Every mistake that anyone's ever made, I've definitely done. Probably as well. Just gone like, whatever. Yeah, well, I'm just gonna own that, whatever it is.
All right. So the one where you go up the stairs, you sit in a chair and you play I don't even know what it's a hollow body guitar. What are you playing?
That man, the story behind that guitar is
gorgeous.
Incredible. That's an old Forcello. It's a 63 Forcello, I think. No, actually, sorry, way earlier than that, 53. And that was bought for me by one of the dearest friends I've ever known, my friend Bonnie. Bought that in New York for me, presented it to me in Paris, and and I've been writing on that guitar ever since. And it's been owned by like lots of cool bands. Like
Really?
yeah, it's like one of those guitars that has like history
Right.
attached to it.
Yeah.
all the way through. Like Cool and the Gang and stuff used to play that
Oh.
guitar. That would like that's been a real. I've been writing on that guitar a lot. That's
I would too.
Well,
Yeah.
that was one of the first videos before you and I met and connected. That's what made me reach out and say, "Hey, I have a morning show. I'd love for you to be on it." Because
Right.
I'm a guitar collector, and I'm looking at that
Right.
guitar, and I'm like, I don't have one of those.
I'm attracted to that.
It sounds amazing.
It's such a beautiful guitar. It's
Yeah.
really, really beautiful to play.
So let me go play that song. Let me go play the right song, and then we'll come back. So hang tight. We're talking with Stephen Macartney, ladies and gentlemen, otherwise known as King Cedar. And now I'm going to play the right song. This is absolutely beautiful. You're waking up to the vibe.
Love.
Thank you for joining us here. All right.
Tell the sun we may go tether him with twine road. Rising is my silver girl, that I may show off to the world. Fare thee well, with silent sail, pass within my evening's veil. Take this hand where you will go, that I may leave the land below, and I may never see the words that light. May I bestow the darkest night, and maybe we can feel this and fall back to the earth with all the colors I can know, all the colors I can know. If I will were to fall, anchored by the morning's call, I would wish this world to stay, that all tomorrows were today, and I may never see the words that light. May I bestow the darkest night, and maybe we can see this and fall back to the earth with all the colors I can know, all the colors I can know.
You're waking up to the vibe.
Woo!
Oh my gosh, nothing short of greatness right here, ladies and gentlemen. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful
Completely
stuff.
Beautiful, beautiful,
Thank
beautiful,
you.
beautiful.
You know,
Thank you so much.
all I could think about while you're playing and singing, we have had some amazing talent on this show. And it just never stops. Like, we just keep stacking them up, man. And thank you
Yeah.
so much for bringing your
Man,
talents
it's a
here.
pleasure. It's a total pleasure to be here, man. I've watched some of your some of the previous shows.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's been so
good.
many great people. I like before I came on today, I was kind of thinking like, there's like those guys have been like, you know, touring with these legends and like, you know, like really. And I'm sitting there just kind of go like, what am I going to talk about here?
Yeah, but you're from Northern Ireland, man.
That's the benefit. I've always, but anytime I'm in the States, it's always so funny. As soon as you start talking to the people, they're always just like, "Where are you from? What's happening?"
Right.
And they can't wait to tell you about their experience with Ireland as well. And it's so lovely.
Yeah.
It's hilarious to me to be there sometimes. You know.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Well,
love
the
it.
one thing I look for, and I spend a lot of time looking for talent and booking talent. I've got a lot of talent comes at me, and I kindly say sorry, it's just not a fit for what I'm trying to
Right.
accomplish. But
Yeah.
I look for music that inspires people. I look for music that makes people reflect and think.
See-
I mean, we're in some tough times right now.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
there are a lot of great songs out there, but when I listen to your music, I was able
Oh,
to
yeah.
connect with my own feelings.
Me too. It
And-
touches my heart.
Yeah, it does.
really-
And so I sent
does.
it to Rebecca. I'm like, hey, check this guy out. What do you
And
think
I'm
it
just
is?
like-
Like, get this guy on the show now.
I appreciate it, guys. I think you know what I think that's one of the main jobs of a songwriter is and what you're saying, Rebecca, is like instantly you felt it.
Oh yeah.
That's what our job is to create stories to translate human emotion effectively, to not be too like philosophical about things, but to translate human emotion so that other people who listen to things can recognize and understand those human emotions as well. So that it's songwriting to me is an idea that you are absolutely able to, through this magic that you have, unite people, bring people together. A commonality in humanity is what we all have. We've got the same stories, we've got the same ideas that happen to us.
Sure.
Not to everyone, but we have similar feelings of heartache, of hurt, of regret, of anger, of love and joy, and those need to be expressed in what you put through song. And any great song I've ever heard, and any great song you ever listen to, I'm sure you'll agree, is references and pulls you into those emotions.
Yeah.
And that's what the job of the songwriter is, and that is magic. That is literal magic. As far
Well, you are magic because you had me.
Yeah. And I think the one thing that can unite one country to the other country, what can bridge Northern Ireland to the United States, Raleigh, North Carolina to Johnstown, New York, to Nashville, Tennessee, to Los Angeles, California? It's music. Music is the
completely.
thread that can,
That's right.
sew us and
Music.
put us all together,
Yeah, and it absolutely has been integral for so many positive reasons in the past, and can be again. And when we were talking earlier on about Bob Dylan and those kind of people, those are the kind of guys as well. There are moments that can unite people through music, and what needs to happen at the minute, especially as well, is that the people who are really fighting for the just causes in both in Northern Ireland, the UK, and in America and further afield, is there is a commonality between the humanity that is reflected a lot in music and in the songwriting that people do. And I think that's really important. It's hugely powerful as well, and that needs to happen.
Yeah.
Sure is.
Very
Sure
well
is.
said. Yeah. Stephen Macartney, can we buy your stuff online?
Spotify.
Spotify, so you
I've
can
been
listen
there,
to it for
done
free. You can listen to it for free if you want on Spotify. You can buy it on, or you can listen to it for free on Bandcamp as well. It's Bandcamp /King Cedar Music, or just Google King Cedar. That'll all come up.
Oh, yeah.
It's all there to listen to for free if you want to listen to it for free. If you want to buy it, because let's face it, that'd be cool.
Yes.
Then it's all there as well.
Awesome, man. We're going to exit the show together. I want to thank everybody. Stephen Macartney, a.k.a. King Cedar. Want to thank you so much for joining us on the show on Wake Up to the Vibe. You will be back. You're going to be on this show again.
Absolutely.
I can't wait, man. Thank you so much.
I want to go like 2 hours with him. I love him. I love you, Stephen. You're bringing my Irish roots out.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, have a great day. Let your light shine. Pay it forward. And we will see you tomorrow with Bill Triggs from the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Have a great day. Cheers. Cheers, Stephen.
Bye, guys.
Adios, amigos.
Yeah.
I got water.